Chief, thanks for joining us down here. I know you're busy, so we're going to try and keep this quick for you. But so we just kind of want to see, what was your reaction to the millage unfortunately not passing?
Well, yeah, unfortunate that didn't take place. We had a lot of supporters out there. Obviously, it wasn't enough. So anytime that something doesn't pass, and you're kind of hoping that it does, it's going to limit some of our operational abilities and some of the future out plans that I've had for 1 to 3 years of things that we were talking about trying to develop at the fire department.
Yeah, and then so with the funding right now, kind of what's the current outlook on that?
Well, we have an approved budget through the end of March that the Board of Trustees had approved last year. So our fiscal year starts April 1st. So, and we've been working off that particular budget of what they've been doing in the past, and it's been also supplemented by Township General Fund as well.
Okay, and then so going forward, what's kind of the plan?
Well, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of discussion between myself and the board and whoever else they're going to be involved with that planning scenario. Obviously, there may end up being some changes somewhere along the line. I really don't have the total answer to that yet until we get into discussions with the board, and me passing ideas along to them and those folks making their decisions that they have to make. But obviously, without the passage of the millage and having that ability to have a little bit of freedom as far as facilities and upcoming equipment needs, those things may not be able to be addressed right away.
And then I know when we had talked earlier on the phone, and then some of the stuff I've seen, that you guys were planning to build another station. And I know when I first actually came up here, one of the first stories I helped out with was actually when we first interviewed you in August, was talking about the new tankers and getting better equipment. So if the millage would have passed, what was like some of the first things you guys would have implemented?
Well, yeah, funny that you should say that. We did have plans of, the fire committee, which is established of 3 different board members and myself, and there's some various community members at large that sit around basically a table and try to develop a plan. And in the process of this whole organizational plan, we projected that projections out over 10 years, of which that was how we come up with the numbers of what was going to be needed to keep operations fluent in the Township Fire Department for the next 10 years, and also allow us to do some infrastructure upgrade, such as our cell station that we have. There was talk of possibly moving it to a slightly bit different location and putting in a new facility to try and replace what we have now, which we occupied since 1954. Prior to us having it, was a body shop. So it was never designed to be a fire station, but back in the day, it was something that was suitable for the size of equipment that they had. And nowadays, it's just not suitable for the customary equipment that you have to buy to put in it. And as far as that goes, there's really no safety mechanisms for employees, such as proper ventilation or different things like that. We have flat roofs on the facility. They leak from time to time. So it was really definitely a needed thing to be able to replace that building and possibly do something with our north side station as well.
Yeah. And then, even though it didn't pass, the vote was close, what was it like to see the amount of support that you guys got?
Oh, as far as I'm concerned, the community gave us a great support. Obviously, the economic driver out there right now is we're in some real tough times, and we completely understand, that it doesn't fit everybody's situation. That being said, we're going to still try to provide the best possible service that we can to our township residents based on the money that we have. And I don't know what that's going to look like in the near future. Obviously, it's not completely up to me in any way, shape, or form. It is up to our Board of Trustees, working with myself and the fire department to try and establish what our next move is. But you know, the community support that we had has been fabulous. Obviously, you've done a story for me in the past. Our Southside Fire Station, we had proposed to do a facade lift on the front of the station to try and beautify or help beautify that building a little bit to kind of go along with the US 23 South Corridor project. And that was my vision, is to see that we do something immediately, even if we can't get into another facility, which that would take a while anyhow, planning and building and everything like that, and obviously the money. But you know, I set forth with a little project to get that done, and initially that, you know, that request that I made before the board was turned down, and there was various reasons as to why. But I felt it as a mission, if you will, to try and do what we can. So basically, I had one of our business owners in the community stepped up right off the bat and said, you know, what's it going to cost for the materials? And he developed a check for me immediately, and I thought, wow, this is amazing. So completely humbled at that point, I thought, well, let's see if we can raise the funds. So 24 hours, I had the funds.
Yeah. It's
pretty amazing.
Since I've moved up here, like, I come from a small community where everybody comes out, helps out each other, but it really, sometimes the smallest things, like, the whole community comes out to and tries to help out and be a part of, and it's kind of been really amazing to see how the little things that everybody does together turns into this huge thing that can really help out the whole community.
It's a completely generous community. There again, we had, throughout the summer, we had the Muscular Dystrophy Association Fill the Boot campaign.
Yeah.
We were just shy of our $10,000 goal, but the community steps up big time to help out here.
Yeah, it's definitely been amazing. But thanks for joining us and coming in and talking to us about this. I know that it's something that I really hope in the future you guys get their approval, so that way it helps not only you guys, but it also helps out the community in the long run.
For sure, that's what we're here for. My staff, I have a wonderful staff that are willing to help out any way, shape, or form they can to their residents.